Time now to review newspaper headlines on today's newspapers. Unfortunately, we don't have our ombudsman of this day newspaper with us in the studio, and we're missing Steve, but I'm sure that Steve's angels can hold this one down.
Absolutely.
All right, then starting with this day newspaper of record, the major headline there on the mast reads, and that's the story that is on everyone's lips this morning: One Kingdom, Two Emirs. The battle for the soul of Kano deepens. Sanusi takes over palace with kingmakers. Ado Bayero relocates to second palace and insists on justice. Meanwhile, security chiefs insist on obeying court order, stopping Sanusi's reinstatement. And the NSA has denied any involvement in the return of the deposed emir. You can even see the picture there on the cover as well. Is the commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps of Kano State, Mohammed Falala, the state director of the Department of State Services, Mohammed Al-Hassan, the commander of the 3rd Brigade, Nigerian Army, Kano, Brigadier General Musa Abubakar Sadiq, and the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mohammed Husseini Gumel, and the deposed Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, during a meeting between the head of security agencies with the monarch in Kano yesterday. I mean, this story, I think, I'm going to just continue to follow up as much as possible. We've spoken about it a lot on the show today. Then, just on the top of the masthead, another story there, according to Odili, Fubara has taken effective control of governance in Rivers, says that project delivery won't be politicized. This is, of course, coming from the former governor of Rivers State, noting that the governor, Similai Fubara, is taking full control of the governance and is focusing on the people in line with his chosen mantra. The special edition of this day today highlights perspectives on the 25th anniversary of an unbroken democracy. Of course, celebrating 25 years of practicing democracy in Nigeria, and 1 year, in a couple of days, I think 3 days from now, 1 year of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. And just above the This Day logo just there, Fagbemi, according to Fagbemi, Glencore has settled with Nigeria to pay $50 million penalty over bribery allegation. That can be found on page 5.
Yes, I think this is a very important story coming from our Attorney General there, because Glencore is an international mining company that was alleged by the United States government to have been paying bribes to individuals in Nigeria, to different people in Nigeria. I think bribes of more than $50 million were paid to intermediaries, and now there will be a fine of $50 million. I think if we talk about fighting corruption, then we need to see more of this, people being held responsible, criminal charges being filed, and fines being paid, including by international companies that do help fund corruption in our nation when they partake in these illegal activities. As you know, the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, was talking about illegalities and terrorism in that sector. Is definitely something that we need to focus on, because money being funded when it comes to mining and corruption can lead to terrorism, increasing terrorism and insecurity within the country. So
yeah, absolutely, you're right. So I think you hit the nail on the head there. But I would like to also just talk about that lead story again, the One Kingdom, Two Emirs, where the NSA is denying the involvement in return of the deposed emir. I mean, you know that I did pose that question because we did see the deputy governor there on live television claiming that the NSA is involved in this whole mess. But, it's good that he has come out to deny and debunk the claims. But, I mean, we are waiting for the investigation to come to a close to find out who really is behind this whole, saga. Like we had said before, it is the right, or is the constitutional right of the governor to impose the emir at this point. And we just hope that there will be a good solution at the end of the day. Should we move over to This Day Style now? This Day Style. I mean, it's very exciting, very exciting, really. I know this one is smiling so much because guess what? Her mother made the cover. Bemi Giwa Osage. Yes. Healing mental health, promoting awareness. Adeswa's mother is a child psychologist, and she's been doing really well. We also have Betty Irabo, who is a dear friend, and she's always advocated for mental health. She's very outspoken about mental health. We also have Dr. Kadiri, who we have interviewed a couple of times on the morning show, and she's been great in advocating for mental health. I mean, this is Mental Health Month, and I think that it's great that This Day Style, covered, had these 5 people. We also have Jane Michael Ekanem. She's, I believe, a stylist as well.
A stylist and a designer.
And a designer as well.
She had a very, public meltdown, but then even after that, she became like a very strong voice, a very for people who are dealing with mental health issues, about obviously going to get help. And of course, Deyemi Okolawo, who is a renowned Nollywood actor in This Day Style, is talking about his personal mental health struggles.
Yeah, let's just read the cover notes there. The editor says, mental health illness awareness programs and campaigns appear to still be an unpopular topic in Nigeria when we compare it to other awareness campaigns carried out in the country. It is crucial to recognize that mental health and physical health should be accorded equal attention, significance, and resources, just like any other health campaign. And we're doing just that on Arise News. We just interviewed, what was his name again?
Dr.
Lowo.
Absolutely,
yes.
And he was great with his advocacy.
All right,
Definitely.
This one?
Okay, so let's move on to the Sunday Tribune. The major story there again is tension in Kano as Sanusi Bayero occupied different palaces. Council of Ulamas urged Tinubu to intervene. Atiku NNPP berate federal government's action in unfolding crisis. We've taken measures to deal with security threats. That is the CP. Now, this story is the main, I would say, probably the main story on all the papers. I think this Sunday Tribune adding that Atiku and NNPP have berated the federal government's actions in the unfolding crisis is important. The former vice president and former presidential candidate in the last elections did come out and say that if there is any crisis in Kano State, that we should blame the federal government, that by providing federal security apparatus to the deposed emir, what they're doing is an invitation for an anarchy, I believe he called it. And I think he's absolutely right in that assertion. Above the masthead, Edo Gubernator under threat. Flood ravages Edo State INEC office. Enrollment machine damaged. Controversy over suspension of Labour Party's national chairman. We have ratified his suspension. That is according to the Edo State SEC. Edo Labour Party can't suspend him according to the national leadership of the Labour Party. I mean, that is ongoing crisis in the Labour Party, ongoing crisis leading up to the Edo State gubernatorial polls. I hope INEC will be better prepared. I hope not soon flooding raging their office is not going to be what would deter the elections from holding.
All right, then if we move very quickly to the Sunday Telegraph, just like you said, Adesowa, almost all the headlines, the major headlines are focused on what's happening in Kano State. But this comes from a different angle, talking about, of course, Sanusi's reinstatement. Lawyers disagree over the legality of Kano court order. So I think what the Sunday Telegraph has done is spoken to a number of lawyers, just trying to get a sense of exactly what that ex parte ruling means. There's one here, my name Ojo says, our governments like disobeying court orders. I mean, this is something that we've seen in the past. Another sign is saying there must be proof of service. And Atiku scholars NNPP caution federal government as the NSA refutes involvement. Just under the major headline there, residents flee Plateau community over attacks. Wow, we've been major targets of terrorists. Now this is according to the Monarch, and Tinubu responding saying we will prioritize security as the armed forces welfare. This can be seen on page 3 and 4. Just to the right of that, that can be found on page 6. Lagos State pays 16.6 billion to 5,886 retirees. That can be found on page 6. And just under Gombe Governor, Minister initiates construction of 250 unit housing estate. That's on the cover of the Sunday Telegraph.
All right.
Okay.
Should we take the Sunday Vanguard? If you have the Sunday Vanguard there. I'd like to take the story on the masthead, the same story that has, that is across all the newspapers. Sanusi storm, deposed Emir returns to Kano in presidential jet. State governor orders his arrest. Now, we can read more on that on page 5, but it is quite the story. Presidential jet. Would like to see if this story is actually accurate, because again here, the NSA denies claim. Defiant Ado Bayero says justice will prevail. Now, the lead story there, fireworks over Tinubu as Labour Party, other opposition parties, members score administration low 1 year after. The writers there, APC defends Mr. President. He is honest, he is sincere. Tinubu, 1 year of corrective reforms, but pains must ease. That's according to a top economist there. And the Sunday Vanguard is continuing to celebrate their the awards ceremony. I believe that was over the weekend. On Friday was the award. And there we have the picture of Lady Maiden Ibru, publisher Guardian newspaper, presenting Lifetime Achievement Award to Pastor Ayo Orise Jafo during the Vanguard Personality of the Year Award, which was, I believe, given to Dr. Allen Oyema of Air Peace, as well as Olubumi Tunji Ojo, the Minister of Interior.
All very well deserving.
Yes, very well deserving, both of them. All right. Adeswa?
Well,
Okay, could do the Guardian.
let's do the Guardian. Bigger story here, same story everywhere else. 2 emirs, 1 kingdom. Very similar to this day, 1 kingdom, 2 emirs. 2 emirs, 1 kingdom, as confusion, anxiety still pervade Kano. But that's the main story. That's the main story we've spoken about today on air. That's going to be the main story, I believe, on everyone's lips until there's a resolution met. But right under the picture, you have the picture of the 2 emirs, Emir Bayero and Emir Sanusi, and in the middle, picture of the governor. Now, just below that,
Yes.
redemption song for Tinubu's chaotic presidency. That is a story on the back page. ECOWAS Parliament new speaker pledges to enhance ethical conduct. And Nigeria will acquire more aircraft equipment to combat insecurity, Tinubu reveals. Now, that is on page 3. There has been a lot of talk about aircraft recently with the president's last travels and his having aircraft issues. I imagine that this is having more to do with our security apparatus. And under that is the same. It's 1 year in office, president to inaugurate projects in Lagos today. And that is because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to flag off the Lagos to Calabar highway construction project that has been the subject of a lot of controversy. A lot of controversy.
Yes.
But he has been welcomed to Lagos State by David Umahi. To come and flag off this Lagos-Calabar coastal highway project with some other projects, and also celebrate in 3 days his 1 year in office.
In 3 days.
Yes, some people are celebrating, some people not. Some people are being critical of the president and the presidency. But yes.
Yeah, well, the only thing that I hope will not happen with the president's visit, which, a lot of people always complain about, is the traffic. I mean, we're hoping that, at least with all of our appeals, people, there will be some sort of, an ease for movement for commuters in Lagos at this point. I believe they're starting the inauguration today. Correct?
Yes, I believe this is going to be today, and I think something else that is very interesting is because we often commence projects, we often do commissionings, cut ribbons, we have plaques and ceremonies, and so I hope after that we actually see the commencement of that project. Because the red line was commissioned, but it has not commenced.
It has not commenced. I mean, that is the legendary statement there. It has not commenced. But I mean, it is coming right before his first year anniversary. I mean, that will hopefully be added to his scorecard, like people say. I inaugurated.
Yes.
During my first year anniversary.
Ladies, I just want us to do something a bit different, because this is Mental Health Month, and we've spoken about it at length. What are you going to be doing this month to make sure that your mental health is protected?
Well, Shaito, unfortunately, I used to go to the beach. And it was just beside my home there, and it's been demolished. So, we have to find something else, but obviously I'm just joking. I'm not just joking, but yes, that happened, demolished. And I think only Friday, or was it Thursday, there was some sort of reprieve for the community there, the Okwaja people. I don't know if you saw that video with Dave Umahi, telling us that they've diverted, that construction. Hopefully 490 houses will be saved from that diversion. And, I hope that their mental state will be okay with this whole news. But what about the people that have been, facing this saga? Homes that have been demolished, businesses that have been demolished.
Yes.
Mental health is real, and that also could be a contributing factor.
I know that the Minister, Dave Umahi, can make my mental health better if he released the EIA.
I think Stephanie Busari did ask that question. Yes. I'm going to look into that as well. I think that they did respond with the EIA question as well. So hopefully we'll see more of that information. What about you? What are you going to be doing with your mental health?
Honestly, just trying to just make sure that this news doesn't get because there's so much going on. Just kind of focusing on the good. Yes. Personally, for me, I do listen to a lot of music to kind of block everything out. But like you said, the beach. I used to go to the beach a lot, and now we have to look for something else to do. Well, I think that's
going on walks is always good. Yeah, talking to friends.
Going on walks, I'm gonna get kidnapped. So
I like talking. With friends.
I think talk therapy with friends, with professionals, walking, making sure that if you are going through a high stressful situation, you take time out for yourself. Self-care, I think, is very, very important in these timing. Very tense
I think this was a great review. I'd love to, Steve, we miss you, but this is nice with the ladies.
I guess held it out for you. These angels. Well, that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shaiton Atigari.
Well, I'm Adesua Giwa Sage. Always remember to take care of yourself. And it's been a great show today. Thanks for sticking with us.
Absolutely. And I'm Oji Okpe from our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.